We've covered so much territory here, and that is, if there was one thing that you wanted the listeners to take away from this conversation today, what would be the one thing that you'd want them to know?
I think I'm going to go back to a comment I made earlier about beginning with the end in mind. I'm a huge Covey fan, right? So when I was a young person trying to learn where is my lane in the world, where am I going to go as a business person going as a veterinarian? I stumbled across 7 Habits. I had a really long commute for years, so I would just play these on repeat, right? Like eventually they're going to get into my brain. There's some kind of gem here. I grew up in a really poor family. I didn't have any business people to look at as like, this is how you conduct yourself. This is how you live your life. I was winging all of it. So young when I got my MBA. I was in my very early 20s and I just didn't know anything. But I found the 7 Habits in a way I could digest it, which was Covey actually narrating his own work in these audiobooks, audio CDs at the time. And beginning with the end in mind has really shaped my entire world since then, right? I always start with, where am I trying to go? Whether I'm on a bicycle, a paddleboard, whether I'm snowboarding, even planning, like, how am I going to clean my house? I always think about, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? And I start with that. And so I feel our whole conversation today, you can put a bow on saying to any C-suite team, to any executive in support, any business looking to shape their support model, what do you want the customer to walk away with? What kind of customer are you trying to attract? If they're having a bad experience, what do you want that resolution to look and feel like? Because that is critical. You cannot say, I'm going to build a support team and good luck. We're going to figure it out as that support issue come up. It's going to go Wild West. You have no idea what that's going to look like. But if you say, I am a luxury handbag company and I want any customer that has even the smallest issue to walk away feeling like they are valued as if they just spent $10,000 on a handbag. And I want my support team to spend 30 minutes plus on the phone with them, whatever is needed to make that customer feel valued so that they come back and buy a $15,000 handbag from us next time. You have to start with that. You have to say, I'm a luxury handbag customer. What kind of experience do I want to have? And that's how you shape that model, right? So like for us, what do I want the veterinarian to feel when they're on the phone with my team? What do I want the teams where we're going out into the field and we're doing training? What do I want those veterinary technicians to feel when they're touching our equipment, when they're learning how to work with it, when they are now on their own without our training team and they're running their own samples, they're taking their own x-rays? How do I want them to feel if they have an issue and they're going to need support? And that's how we start with the end in mind. It's obvious we want to be the most accurate provider of diagnostics because I want that veterinarian to look at their results for that patient that they're worried about and know that they're accurate, right? So that we start everything and then we work our way back from there. And when we're having conflict, because conflict arises, it comes up all the time when you're talking about funding. There's no pointless supply of funding in any business I'd ever talk to, especially when it comes to support, right? There's always a little bit of conflict that can arise. It has to come back to, where do we want the end to be? What do we want the end to feel like? And if we can't get there, what is that going to look like until we can, right? So if we can't invest in 50 more people today, what is that support experience going to look like for the customer? And can we handle that? Or can we find funding some other way? Can we find another way to fund these changes? And that is the dance. I feel if we don't start with the end in mind, what's the point, right? Where's your map? I feel like the world we're in now, the consumer is very demanding because of all of the resources they know are available to companies, and they want that great experience. Sometimes they want the lowest price, and they're willing to say that and say, okay, maybe I can tolerate not a great support experience. But again, you have to know what the end it is to be able to make that decision for your customers.